Hey everybody, I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. The quote today is, "You are not too old, and it's not too late." I found a list of people I want to share with you. Mother Teresa was 40 when she founded the Missionaries of Charity. Henry Ford was 50 when he started his first manufacturing assembly line. Ray Kroc was 52 when he started McDonald's. Winston Churchill was 65 when he became Britain's Prime Minister. Nelson Mandela was 71 when he was released from a South African prison, and he was 75 when he was elected as president. Michelangelo was 72 when he designed the dome of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Laura Ingalls, the author of the Little House on the Prairie series, was 65 when she finally began to be published. Stan Lee was 43 when he began drawing legendary heroes. Julia Child did not learn how to cook until 40 years old. And at 50, she began her cooking show. Leonard Cohen released the song Hallelujah at age 50. Richard Adams at 54 had his work, Watership Down, published. The quote, "You're not too old and it's not too late." You might be one of the 49 million Americans who are in the senior citizen category. You might be 50. Maybe you should have already started what you want to do. You might have a disability that slows you down. Maybe you have a problem that sort of put your life on hold for a while. You have to remember, you're not too old and it's not too late. We may be older. Age is a reality. We might be beginning to feel the limits of age, physical limitations. Or maybe you're just behind the pack. You sort of got out of the starting gate late. You feel like you're playing catch up. Those kind of things are much different than being too old and being too late. This line of thinking is what will stop people from moving forward. It's what holds us back when we say it to ourselves or when we hear somebody else say it. The people on the list were probably, in their day, considered too old. Probably went through some rejection. Some of them we know they did. And the fact is they were older. They had some physical limitations. They had illnesses that some of them struggled with. A couple on the list struggled with severe depression. But they refused to buy into this line of thinking that will paralyze people, that they were too old and it was too late. Maybe they didn't know the rule. Or maybe they were just having so much fun with life and accomplishing things and using their talents and abilities that they didn't realize they were too old or it was too late for them to get going. This group seemed to be people who were just pretty excited about doing things, accomplishing things, and life to them was an adventure, and they did not want to miss out. Actually, the only thing that stops us is us. The only thing that's been stopping me from doing some things is me. For all the reasons I come up with. And the same for you. It's you. Nobody else is holding you back. Sometimes we tell ourselves, well, I need more training if I'm going to do that. All I have is an iPhone. There's no way I can start doing photography with that. Or I need some more credentials. Or I didn't finish college. Or I don't even know how to do that. And these are just excuses that we use. You can still do things. There are two things that I think we need to keep in mind, whatever your age is, whatever your status or station in life is. And the first is, we can't go back and change anything about our past. Nobody gets to go back and do that. And so this kind of thinking, these statements that we make to ourselves and often out loud to others, I wish I would have done that. Or I wish I would have gone ahead and finished college and got that degree. I wish I would have finished my master's. Oh man, I totally regret that choice I made. I can't believe I did that. You don't get to go back and change or undo these things. And so the only thing that makes sense is to let yourself off the hook and give yourself permission to keep going. Second thing we need to keep in mind is everybody has a future. I don't care where you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how late you're getting started. It doesn't matter that something sort of held your life up while you dealt with that. It doesn't really matter. Everybody has a future. And it's standing in front of you. And it's sort of like one of those books you pick up at the bookstore. It doesn't have any words in it. It's just blank pages. And you get to put the words in it. You get to describe what you did and where you're going. And that's what our future is. It's just waiting for us to fill it up. Maybe we can learn from the people on the list. They prove we can do stuff. People who are old and late starters, they can do things. And we can do things that impact other people, just like they did. As a matter of fact, I have been impacted by many of those people on that list, and I know you have as well. I think, I don't know, this is a challenging time, and maybe we're all kind of stuck, but I think maybe 3 questions might help us sort of push ahead a little bit. 3 or 4, I'm not sure how many I have here. And the first one is just to ask yourself, what are you going to do? We all have these dreams, and we all have these little lists of things we'd like to do or things we would be interested in trying if we ever had the time or whatever. Maybe it's time to pull that list out and dust it off and relook at it. You don't want life to pass you by without having tried at least one thing. Maybe you've always wanted to be a performer. Maybe you've wanted to be an actor. There's a lot of community theater and open mic nights around. You could give that a try. Maybe you've wanted to mentor younger people who are beginning to move forward in life, or maybe enter the career you just retired from. Maybe you've wanted to be a writer, write poetry or a novel, or some nonfiction work. Maybe photography's been your dream, or painting, or drawing, or starting a small business. Maybe you want to do a podcast or even a YouTube video. Just narrow it down. Get real specific. Pick one that you'd like to spend some time trying, and then start working on your plan. Maybe you've seen a problem on the news in your community or driving around, and it's just kind of got a hold of you and you can't get it out of your mind. And maybe that's something that you should try to do something about. You'd be helping a lot of people. And then you want to ask yourself why. Why is very important. We can do great things for the wrong reasons, and it ends up being not fun, but a downer. Many people have burnt out because they were doing some wonderful things, but they were doing it for the wrong reason. So I recommend that you think about things that have some valid motivations behind them. Here's a couple. Fun. I think that many times we get through life and we forget it. It's okay to have some fun during our lifetime. Our fulfillment. Some hobbies or activities or things we try to do can bring such fulfillment that nothing else does. Or maybe you want to have that sense of, I've really solved a problem that was affecting a lot of people, and I've contributed, and that's a great feeling. I wouldn't try to do these things to get famous or make money or get people to like you. I mean, those 3 things there's nothing wrong with them, but they're not great motivations in and of themselves. And then you want to ask who. Who can help you? you might need some advice about how to get going, how to do it. And so it's fine to find somebody that maybe has done it and could save you the time of starting from scratch. I knew a guy that wanted to get into writing and he had some things he wanted to write about, and he was sort of writing, but he just felt like he was stuck. He wasn't doing quite what he thought he could end up doing. And he ends up going to see a high school teacher that taught English Lit, and just sat down with her and just said, here's what I've been working on, and here's what I kind of want to do, what I want to be. Would you mind helping me? Well, she jumped at the chance. She loved it. And they became quite a team. And she would read his work and help him. She'd proof it for him. And she got him to reading some other writers who were on a similar track he was on. Who can help you do what you want to do? Give you some ideas. It's still going to be your work, but you want somebody to help you get started. And you need a circle of friends who will be with you and walk with you and support you. Everybody needs this. They're just sort of like your personal development system almost, is they can give you support and encouragement and hold you accountable for those start dates. When is the last question. When do you plan to start this? And if you're not clear when, why not now? I read a story about a little boy that was going out for Little League, and he was learning the game, and he was not bad at catching and throwing and things like that, but when he would get up to bat, he would just stand there. He wouldn't swing the bat. And the coach had given him some extra help, showed him how to stand, showed him how to hold the bat, and how to keep his eye on the ball, taught him a little bit about timing, sort of try to do mental counting to see how long it takes the ball to get from the pitcher to the catcher, and then start some thinking about when's the best time to swing here, and all those kind of things. Man, the kid just couldn't do it, couldn't swing. He'd just stand there. One day before the game, the coach walks up to him and says, "Hey, Bobby, today I want you to swing every time you're up at bat. That's all I want you to do. Don't worry about whether you hit it or miss it. Don't worry about any of that. It doesn't matter. Today is the day you swing every time at bat. You just got to swing." Well, that's what he did. Got up there every time, swung the bat. Tried to swing, tried to do the way he was taught, but just swing. I think that's where we are. We just need to swing. We need to start. We need to get going. You just hold back, and it's okay to get going. It's okay to try something. And maybe your new line of thinking should be, I am not too old, and it's not too late for me to do, and then you fill in the blank. Whatever it is. It's not going to be what you do the rest of your life. It's what you do right now. Like, I don't think I'm going to do this YouTube the rest of my life. I mean, I still have quite a learning curve. But it's just something to do. So, I hope you swing. Hey, thanks so much for listening. It means a lot to me. I hope if you like it, you'll click like. If you want, you can subscribe. I'm going to do this for a little while longer. And then you'll have it. Be notified you got it and listen in. And I hope between now and next Tuesday, you give something a try. You come up with a plan and get started.